Welcome, one and all, to the newest episode, episode 12 of the Action Toon Bros. I am your host for this one, Ben Sturgeon.
And I'm your host, Matthew Lewis.
And today we're covering even more Legend of Korra.
Hell yeah.
I want to comment on so many things right now, but I feel like it might just be best if we just start. We'll have all the comments in the world as we're going through
There
this.
is a lot to talk about.
Oh, there is. And we're going to start off with episode 5 of season 2, Peacekeepers.
Yep.
We start off with the announcer stating that Korra pretty much sparked the Civil War, and the South is overpowered by the North. And in order to help out with the South, they need Republic City's help.
Yep. And he also mentioned this Civil War is between brothers.
Oh yes, this is between
Varrick
brothers.
and Unalak.
And we actually get a name drop in this introduction too, because the final sentence is, will Korra be able to convince President Raiko to send troops to the South? After the title card appears, Korra and co, including Varrick and Julie, make it to Republic City, where Lin is just absolutely thrilled to see Korra.
The opening scene is a cool bust for Lin doing a bust and then having to meet these dum-dums on the docks.
And she's just like, hey, welcome back, Avatar. Thanks for starting a war.
Yeah, of course, like, hey, it's not my fault. Well, yeah, it kind of is my fault.
I didn't start it. Well, I did, but it's complicated.
Yep.
Pretty much. Mako's told to go back to work because there's going to be a peace march.
Southern Water Tribe. Yep.
And
security detail for Mako.
Exactly. And of course, Korra's like, I'll join, and Lin's just like, hey.
Yeah, Mako's like, you can't join because you both look impartial, and she's like, I'm not impartial. I want this war to be stopped, obviously.
Because unlike Aang, she actually is impacted by this. So I can understand it, but she's very irrational.
Well, no, I think she's I think she wants to stop the war by stopping the North. That's what she wants to do.
Right. All I'm saying is like, a lot of her actions, we'll get to this later.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of what she does
she's not a diplomat.
Super irrational.
Yeah, she's not a diplomat at all. She's very responsible. Julie with the schedule for Varrick, and we see the gang, the gang is going to meet the president.
Yes, well, specifically Varrick and Korra.
Yeah.
He's just like, yep, everything's taken care of. We're going to meet the president tomorrow. So Mako's like, I got to go to work. Asami's like, I got to go to my business.
Check on the factory.
And Korra's like, I got to go see about this peace march. Varrick's like, I got to go get a pedicure.
Yeah, and Bolin's like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, come on, we'll go partying with Varrick, of course.
And Mako's like, figure it out. Come on, you're a smart boy. And Varrick's just like, hey, let's hang out, buddy.
Yep, we cut back to Unalak, who is not at all concerned about his brother and just wants the portal protected.
Yep, at least that part was true about Unalak. And of course, because like the guy, one of his henchmen, I guess, or something, is like, oh, we got the troops here, and Unalak's like, I don't care, double security on the portal, I want this.
Yeah, and Eska's gotten cool, crazy villain.
Oh yeah, like we're talking about like the makeup that's on her eyes. It's literally her hair ran everywhere on her face.
And her like weird giant spiky coat that she doesn't match her brother anymore.
She literally looks like she's in shambles.
Yeah, that's totally
like so much that even the guy who is leaving is just like, ugh. And of course, Unalak is like, you two, bring me the Avatar. Desna's like, wait, you told her that she wasn't needed, and Unalak's like, I told her what she needed to know, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
She needed to know that she was worthless at the time?
Yeah, right. I don't even know. But look, but then also we see Eska is disappointed when the dad says alive because she wanted to kill him.
Yeah, she's just like, I'll bring the Avatar. She took my husband. And Unalak's like, alive is what we need. And she's just like, ugh.
Yep.
Then we get to
Airbender Island.
Yep. Also known as Vacation Tenzin.
Which are they still to the south?
I think it's south. Yeah, I think they haven't moved from the south.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Milo is trying to train Pokey.
Pokey the lemur.
And he'd be like, "Come on, sit, Pokey." And Tenzin's like, No, you can't do it like that. On his own, like he's not.
Yeah, Tenzin's very judgy of Milo's trading style.
And after all of the shenanigans happen, Tenzin's just like, hey, you know what? I see you need some help. why don't you let your old dad help you be a master trainer? And of course, Milo's like excited because him and Dad.
Yeah, of course. We see Korra leading the Southern Water Tribe march.
Yep, and as the announcer says, tensions are running super high because, well, the Southerners are doing a peaceful protest, while a bunch of Northerners in the crowd are just like, boo, get a real job.
No, not job. He says, get a real dog.
No, I thought he said get a real job.
He's talking about not getting. He says get a real dog.
Because when I had the subtitles on, it says job.
Oh, that's funny. I thought it said get a real dog.
Either way, that works too. I mean,
they're
just heckling really.
Yep.
And
Mako,
then we cut to Mako just
spots a shadowy figure that's has a bomb. He's trying to bomb the culture center.
Well, not only is it a shadowy figure, we see something different in this. We see him hold up the shadowy figure, hold up a device, press a button, and bombs explode.
Yep.
And then, of course, as Mako's chasing these guys down, another new development that we know is they're firebenders.
Yep.
And then, of course, they firebend their way out of there. And as Korra and a bunch of waterbenders are trying to put the fire out of the Water Tribe Cultural Center. Thank you. Mako's like, hey, Korra's like, Northerners are crazy. And Mako's like, I just saw a bunch of firebenders run off with a weird device. I don't think the North is a part of this. And of course, Korra pulls the actually kind of logical, who else would want to do this?
Yeah, and also we see Mako get one of the devices at this point.
Yep. And then we cut to Varrick and Bolin going out of the limo, getting a whole bunch of pictures taken. And of course, Bolin comments, wow, I've never seen this much stuff unless I get hit in the face with a rock. And of course, Varrick's response to that is, being famous is like getting hit in the face with a rock many times.
Yeah, that's great.
It's all the time.
At the pro bending arena, Bolin's a celeb, and everyone's like, oh, Bolin's
everyone's
here.
like, Bolin, yeah! And of course, the announcer guy, also our narrator, is like, maybe we can get an interview. Yeah. Bolin, come on!
Yeah, it's a really cool scene with him getting an interview, and Varrick's like, oh, yeah, I have plans for you, kid. Come on, let's do this.
What I think is hilarious is because it's like, ask Bolin a question. Bolin's like, fact. Audience is dead quiet.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he goes, but Republic City! And everyone's like, yeah! It's like, blah, 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 blah. But I miss the fans!
Yeah, it was like, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. And then, of course, like Matt said, Varrick's all, I think I know what your true calling is.
Yep. We cut to the next day with Varrick and Korra's meeting with President Raiko. Varrick lets drop that he gave donations to both presidents.
Well, yeah, you got to bet on both sides.
Yeah, you got to hedge your bets.
Yeah, hedge your bets. That's what it is.
President Raiko seems cool, but he wants to stay out of the foreign war.
Yes, he wants to stay out, but he also wants to make sure he does this whole thing through non-violent means, which obviously Korra's definitely not happy about.
Typical aggressive self, and she is very angry about this.
And of course, Varrick, being Varrick, is like, hey, you're already in this war, buddy. I mean, trying to convince him through actually convincing him, not just, I'm angry at you.
Yep.
And then, of course, Korra leaves, and Korra goes to Mako and is like, the president doesn't care at all. And Mako's like, the president can't just be like, oh, yes, of course. Let's bring these troops on it. It's a war that he's not even a part of.
Yep.
Korra once again brings up sides.
Yep, Korra of course gets pissed at him again, and she leaves as she always does. We see Sami and Korra go to talk to Varrick,
who is shooting targets blindfolded.
Yeah, just shooting arrows at them.
But then after that, I mean, Asami needs to make money, or else her company's going to go bankrupt, and Korra can't wait on the president to make a decision or do anything because it's going to take too long. And this is where we get probably one of the coolest Varrick scenes ever. We finally get to see how Varrick Industries comes up with ideas.
Yeah.
So what he tells Julie to get the equipment, and it's a pole with like a chin-up pole kind of, while he wears these weird boots with hooks on them in an interesting way, and he eats a very, very spicy pepper because brainstorming and intelligence is all about circulation. So he eats the super hot pepper, hangs himself upside down from those hooks on the pole, so the blood rushes to his head, and all he says is, Julie, take notes on everything I say. Hold on a second.
You pulled those up. It's great.
Okay, here it is.
Korra,
and so this is legitimately he's again spicy pepper hanging upside down. Here are the thoughts that come from his head: pink mint lemon tea, radio for pets, hand shoes. Wait a minute. We don't need to wait for the president. We can actually just go straight to the troops because troops love fighting. And also, Asami, you don't have to worry about selling your tanks because I know some guys who want them. In the South. And of course, it all sounds like a good plan. Even Asami's on board with this because, in the words of Varrick, if you can't make money off of war, you just can't make money at all.
God.
And then, of course, again,
in
typical Varrick action, he just flips, does like a front flip, unhooks himself, lands, perfect 10 out of 10 landing, and tells Julie to put every other idea into research and development.
Yeah, that's great.
This is why Varrick is so awesome. And how did that work? You go from tea to radio.
I've seen that
to
thing with the shoes before. Like, it's an actual thing people do.
No. I'm saying.
The crazy ideas
he went from tea to radio to shoes on your hands to an actually good idea.
Hey, those other ones will probably work out, I'm sure, for him.
And we'll find out.
This is what we find out about Varrick's the movies he plans on making.
Yep. We get another thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, there was some versions of this, but here we get to hear Varrick's idea for new movers that he wants to do.
Yep.
About the North, like the evil Unalaq trying to take over the world.
Yeah, villainizing the North to the people in Republic City, which is
while they have a hero named the Nuktuk.
Yeah, of the South.
Hero of the South. Where Bolin is going to be Nuktuk. Long story short, they're actually doing like wartime propaganda.
Yep, propaganda films. It's really
like I said, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, they did some things because but it was
the back in
showed the fire, and all that. I mean, because it was back in the day, that's how you did it. Here, we get to see a more modernized version of propaganda and its evolution.
Yeah, obviously we're going to get into that in a second, but first we see Mako looking through a suspect book, which I thought was really cool.
And then, of course, Bolin comes in and literally spills the beans about everything, because that's a Bolin. And, of course, Mako's like, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, who cares? Shut up.
No. When we learned about Korra, he's like, dude, no, that's bad. Why? No, bad Bolin, bad Korra. And then, of course, Bolin, as Mako tells him what he's doing with the book, Bolin flips one page.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's like, that's him!
Yep, he finds his lead, and he goes off to meet Lin with the lead, and this is when we cut back to Tenzin.
No. Yes.
He says he's going to go to Lin.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
we do.
To go to Lin.
And so, Tenzin is helping Milo with Pokey. And then he's like, first, establish dominance. And of course, Milo does try. Like, he actually gets an aggressive tone, and he's like, sit! Come on, sit! And then, of course, Pokey's being Pokey and like, wee, it's so funny! And, of course, Tenzin's like, no, you're doing it wrong. He even goes to a scene where Milo's about to take a nap, and, Pokey's in the bed. And he's like, no, you cannot have that happen, because you are the alpha lemur. You must show that this is your bed. He must sleep on the floor. And Milo says the truest thing. Being the alpha lemur is lonely.
Yeah, it's a very
and even Tenzin's like, I know.
Yeah, it's a very, very sad scene. But this
really is
when we cut back to the president chastising Lin for not finding the Northerners that were responsible for the bombing at the palace.
Because obviously it was Northerners.
Yep, obviously it has to be. We see a couple of detectives, Lu and Gong.
Lu and Gong, that's their name. And Mako walks in and he's like, hey, I found a lead on it. And which one's Lu, which one's Gong?
I believe...
Who's got Black Beauty?
They both have long mustaches, but I think Gong is the short one and Lu's the tall one.
Alright, the short, so Gong is just like, hey, that's great. You should tell Lin about it right now.
Yeah.
And Mako's like, sure, And we find out that, well, Mako finds out that she's in a meeting with the president.
Yep.
And that she needs to take it to Lu and Gong. And, you know, long story short, they're a bunch of buttheads. Mako's trying to be serious, but it was the Northerners. No biggie.
Also, yeah, she's just pissed about him interrupting the middle of a meeting. And even
with the president.
They ignore the fact that he possibly found a culprit. On his way out, though, the president is very kind to Mako, and he's like, hey, man, you're doing a good job. You got information about the Avatar, what she's up to?
And at first he was like, he didn't say anything, because it was like, if you have information, let me know, probably. But as the president's leaving, Mako's like, wait.
Yeah, wait, I know.
And then we cut to, well, the United Forces, where Korra talks to our old friend General Iroh.
Yay, Iroh!
And of course, Korra tells him the idea, and Iroh is like,
down to help.
we could totally just go and do some training exercises in close to the south, and just happen to get attacked. But the president walks in and goes, you're not going behind my back, are you?
Yep.
And pretty much makes it so that Iroh cannot leave at all.
Yep.
And this upsets Korra.
Yep, but also we get the information that he's like, oh, we can just go to the Fire Lord, my mother, and we can find out what happened. He also alludes that his father is still, or his grandfather is still alive and is friends with the Avatar.
Yep.
Zuko's alive!
Zuko is alive,
Or it could be his other grandfather, because he has two, just like Zuko remembered in that episode.
So what?
Some guy.
So what? Is it some guy who's going to be like as strong as the Avatar? Anyway.
We got sexy bowling movie time after that.
Hell yeah, we do.
Some nut tuck.
Good old
nut of the South.
Hero of the South. And we get to also see Varrick's new product on Ginger, who has super red hair, which he calls Veridye. They see her with that on the movers, and I bet we'll sell 1 million of them.
Yep.
And then Korra rides in with Naga and says, I need you to watch Naga Bull. And he's like, wait, what happened? And Varrick's like, yeah, what happened with General Iroh? And Korra explains that the president got tipped off. But how? Only them in the room knew about it, in which Bolin just casually says, and Mako.
Yep, I told Mako, and that's...
No, he didn't even mention that he told Mako.
Yeah, I know.
Mako knows. Wait, he wouldn't, would he?
Oh, God.
And then, of course...
back with Milo.
Yep, back with Milo. And we get to see the fruits of Tenzin's labor.
Yep.
Well, congratulations, Milo. You are now a master trainer, and you train Pokey well. And Milo reveals it wasn't just Pokey, he did it with every lemur. So he gets a whistle out and starts doing whistle things, and every single lemur flies around and just lands and everything. And Tenzin pretty much says what everyone else was thinking. I've created a monster. And then of course he's like, forget about the training for now. Just you and Pokey have fun.
He's like, oh, thank goodness. And then he just whistles again and then goes off to have some fun. It's a great little scene.
Yeah, I thought that was just hilarious because just seeing Tenzin go from, I'm gonna help you to, oh my goodness, what did I do?
Yeah.
But then we cut back to Korra storming the police office.
I was like, a hilarious scene that's in a bunch of old 80s and 90s cop action movies where the girlfriend comes into the station and just makes a huge crazy scene and blows shit up.
I mean, it's
a great scene.
And with Korra, we're talking she kicks Mako's desk completely.
Yeah.
They both have an argument, which ends in Mako breaking up with Korra.
Yep. It was a really cool scene.
It was interesting to see this. But honestly, this was a very quick relationship.
No, yeah, they're both fiery-tempered people. Actually, I'd say Mako's pretty chill, and Korra's a pretty crazy person.
Right.
So, not surprised.
But then, as Korra leaves, we get literally the two best lines from Lin in the season. First, Lin opens the door, sees the desk in front of her door, and goes, What the flameo happened here?
Yeah, I was just
and then I thought that was hilarious, just because she used flameo.
Of course.
And then Mako's just like, I broke up with the Avatar. And then we get probably my favorite Lin line ever. You got off easy. You should have seen Air Temple Island when Tenzin broke up with me. I was like, no, thank you.
That was hilarious. That was amazing.
So we cut to Korra going to the Fire Nation.
Yep.
Obviously in tears because, well, she just got broken up with. When who should attack but Desna and Eska.
Yeah.
And they're attacking, and of course, Eska's just like, you took my husband.
Yeah, but she's also easily holding both of them off in a fight on the ocean.
She even uses the Avatar state, too.
Yeah.
And what should appear but a dark spirit.
A gigantic dark spirit that she's unable to affect.
Yeah, and again, now, just so you know, listeners, this time, rather than just trying the cool little spirit thing on her own, she tries the spirit thing in the Avatar state.
Yep.
And it works for a lot longer than it has before.
Oh, yeah.
But it immediately breaks free and eats her.
Yep, it seemingly eats her or just splashes her back into the water. Well, not first.
And then of course Desna and Eska see this and they
look at each other like,
leave.
what the hell? Okay, get the hell out of here.
And that's actually where the episode ends. It just ends on that note.
Yeah, a very, very crazy note for the episode to end on.
Yeah, right? I know about cliffhangers and stuff like that, but this is like running into a brick wall kind of ending.
It was very, very cool.
Anything you want to ask?
Nah, you want to ask, host?
Oh, well, I mean, this is my first time ever watching this. It's just... I still don't I do kind of understand what Unalaq is trying to do, but his methods are just weird.
Well, you don't know what he's trying to do yet. It's very confusing. He wants to make
you're right. But still, well, no, just the fact that, especially the whole... You told Korra she's useless. No, I told her what she needed to.
Yep.
Like, no, you don't do that. And like I said before, Mako and Korra breaking up kind of blindsided me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
But honestly, it's for the best because Mako's a jerk.
Really? Mako's the jerk in the situation? He's doing his best.
Hey. Don't make fun of the Avatar. She's doing it to save the world.
Yeah, she is.
She is being irrational and angry to save the world.
She is a crazy person and I love her to death.
But I still like how the start of propaganda war movies
it's very,
is
very
coming
cool.
up. I do like how this is evolving. And again, second best character in all of Avatar. Varrick. Varrick himself.
I'm about to say, but what do you mean? First is who?
Huh? First?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Best Earthbender boy.
What? Boy? Oh, Bolin.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
Bolin.
I think Earthbender first thing of Toph, so I don't even know.
I said that's why I said boy.
Uh-huh.
Like, first earthbending boy. Yeah, Bolin. In Legend of Korra, Bolin's best boy.
Bolin is dope as hell.
Yeah. But speaking of dope as hell, this next episode is actually really good.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's episode 6, The Sting.
Yep.
The announcer brings up that someone attacked the Water Tribe Society Center, and even though all signs point to the north, Mako thinks that there's something else going on.
Yep. I also points out like everyone's doing like work with Varrick in this last time too.
Yep, and then of course Bolin is in the movers, and Asami is sending tanks to the south. That's pretty much what the announcer says.
It doesn't mention Korra at all.
No, it doesn't actually. No. However, we start after the title card. A large
shipping boat is attacked
by these weird little devices that kind of beep beep beep, but then they explode.
Yep.
Little sticky bombs.
Yep, and then we find out that this boat belongs to Varrick.
Yes, it does. And obviously, if Varrick wanted Asami to do some shipping, what else could be on that boat?
Exactly.
Well, after that whole thing happens, we actually arrive at the Southern Spirit Gate.
Yep, Eska and Desna wait at the portal for
Unalaq. Yeah. And they're like, where is he? And Desna's like, he's gonna be here, don't worry. Unalaq comes out of the spirit portal. Yep. Which, first off, makes me raise a bunch of questions.
They ask if he was in the spirit world, and he's like,
don't worry about that. Where's the Avatar? And they explain that a dark spirit killed her.
Yep, she's dead.
Which Unalaq is displeased by this.
Yep.
But now,
finally,
we get to see the first part.
They're movers.
Yeah, well, it's movers. A movie. It's movers from back then, so it's technically a movie. So would it be a part or an episode?
I think it's just a first movie.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a whole movie, but it's just like really short because that's what they were back then.
The first movie for Nuktuk, Hero of the South.
Of the South.
And it's extremely cheesy. Like Unalaq is like classic evil villain who has a doomsday device.
Yep.
We have Nuktuk, played by Bolin, of course.
Of course.
Who has 2 animal companions, played by Pabu and Naga.
Yeah, they're playing a polar raccoon and an Arctic panda.
And an Arctic panda, yes. Because those are things. And of course, the Arctic panda and the snow raccoon, was it?
Polar raccoon.
Polar raccoon, they talk. Because, like, Pabu's character would be like, "You're our best friend, Nook Tuk." And, of course, Naga gets the good one-liners, like, "Nook Tuk." And, of course, there's the audience is like, like, yay, boo, and stuff like that. Everything is a smash hit.
Yep, it is great.
Speaking of smash hits, Bolin tries to hit on Ginger because apparently if there are a couple in the movies, there are a couple in real life.
Bolin's very dumb.
He doesn't know the separation of reality and fiction, but it fails miserably.
Yeah, Varrick points out that you need to starve to tell people to think. They're very dumb.
yeah. And his analogy is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a marmot monkey ride a bicycle? Is that a trick question? Of course you haven't, because they can't. They have to want to, and you're a star now. That means you can make them want to. Julie brings down the mood by telling Varrick about the shipment.
Yep, and they leave the mover show.
Yep, they leave the movers. Yep. So. Where am I in my notes?
Mako is still missing Korra. He's still upset about it. But
yes, he is. That's right, he is. Asami hears about the shipment
that was lost.
And Asami and Mako are sitting in like the other side of the interrogation room where Lin is interrogating the captain of that one ship with Lu and Gong sitting there as well.
Yep. This is when they first mentioned that the bombs are remote activated, and they first realized that this is the same thing from the cultural center.
Well, that Mako does at least.
Yeah, before he goes to Lu and Gong.
And of course, hearing the captain say something about bombs that explode without actual fuses.
Yep.
Mako's like, I need to grab some evidence.
Yep.
And then Varrick walks in, and he's upset because they took down his 5th favorite ship, which is named after his mother. Rest in peace, Rocky Bottom. And then, of course, Mako is trying to actually solve the case, but in typical cop fashion, he tries to be like, "Oh, did anyone have this? Did you see this guy or something?" Lu and Gong are like, "Yeah, listen to the rookie."
Yeah,
and Varrick's like, "Everyone, peacetime, let's get lunch." Asami's like, "You two suck," and Lin's just finally is like, "Enough, Mako, you're not a detective. Get out of here now."
Yep.
And so Mako's like, I want to take care of this, but apparently, if I do anything against Lin, I'll get kicked off the force. And Asami's like, I'll help you. That should be enough, right? And Mako's like, no, we need more than that. First off, we need a ship. Land of Convenience appears, aka Varrick. You need a ship? You need a ship? I got a ship. Tell me what the plan is. Tell me what the plan is. I like plans.
Yep.
The less you know, the better. Well, I like not knowing things. I'm in.
Yeah, that's great.
So, long story short...
Mako also does not want help from Korra, so he goes to Bolin.
Well, before we find out about that, we learn about what the plan is, which is he wants to do a sting operation, which, in this case, they get a ship, a dummy ship, that's filled with empty crates, go to the same spot, because apparently the ship at the beginning got hit in the same spot that the other ones got hit.
Yep.
So they're going to go in with a dummy ship and try to capture them like that. So when they finish loading the ship with all of the dummy stuff, Mako's like, we need more manpower. Asami's like, what about Korra?
Yeah,
and Mako's like, she's out of town. Let's go. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yep, they go to Bolin, who refuses to help Mako because he didn't help him before.
Yeah, because he didn't help him figure out what he should do.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mako, Bolin being a star now, has a whole bunch of money, so they bought a whole bunch of things, like a giant hot tub in the middle of the entire apartment.
Half their apartment is now a hot tub.
And a whole bunch of other things, including a giant marble statue of Bolin.
It's so silly.
Which doubles as
a coat rack.
A hat rack.
Oh, hat rack. Yeah, you're right.
We don't need a hat. We don't have hats. That's because we don't have a hat rack. But anyway, yeah, so long and short of it is Bolin is kind of being a jerk. But then again, he's literally letting Stardom get to his head.
Oh, yeah.
So he's being a jerk about it. And Mako and Asami are forced to go to someone else.
Yep, the triple threat triad.
Good old Shady Shin.
Yep, Shady Shin, Two-Toes Ping,
Two-Toed Ping. Oh, God.
What was the guy's name? The Scorpion or the Dragon?
Viper.
Viper.
Yeah, Viper was the one at the beginning that we met.
Viper's the Viper and Two-Toed Ping and another guy we don't know the name of are the ones that attacked Korra when she first got into the
Correct,
city.
and then they're Shady Shin. We only know 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Shady Shin and Mako and Asami kind of make a deal.
Yep. First they tried to promise to get Shady Shin's bending back, but the leader's like, who cares?
The leader's like, that's good. What about the rest of my crew?
Yep.
And then Asami's like, dude, brand new cars haven't been revealed yet to the world. You help us, you help us, you get them. And so they go. We're actually at sea, where. I'm sorry, one of my favorite parts. All right, everyone, we gotta keep quiet. Hey, no problem. Keep quiet is my middle name because I'm a gangster, so I gotta keep quiet. Mum's the word and all. Like literally, like an old 20s gangster.
Ping is just talking nonstop, and it's great. This is also when we find out.
Yeah, Asami finds out through Mako.
Yeah, he tells him that he broke up with the Avatar.
Broke up with
just like, yeah, right. All the gangsters like, yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. You broke up with the Avatar.
And of course, Asami is peaked at this, like, well, really? You broke up with her?
And then we go back to filming Bolin, and he and Ginger are filming a scene. And as she's getting about to die in a death trap, he decides to kiss her. In which case, Varrick's like, there's no kiss here.
Yeah,
and of course, Bolin's like, hey, I got caught up in the moment. It just felt right. And Varrick's like, wait. Your girlfriend's about to die in a death trap, and you kiss her. That's perfect! Everyone, take 5.
Yeah,
and then that Ginger is still very upset.
Yeah, she's very pissed about it.
Because, Bolin still doesn't know the difference between Bolin and Nuktuk.
Bolin's gonna get canceled for making out with the actress who gets to
Probably, but probably not. But we go back to the boat, where it's been quite some time, and we learn why Two-Toe Ping is named Two-Toed Ping. And it's because, you ready for this, guys?
Oh, yeah.
He's got 2 extra toes.
On
each, one on each foot, and 12-toe Ping was already taken.
And already a gangster on the south side or something like that, he says.
And then, of course, Mako is concerned about everything, so he decides to walk around the dock.
The ship?
Yeah, sure. In which case he finds out through actually listening in on Viper and Two-Toed Ping and Shady Shin that Shady Shin and the Triads were paid to keep them busy, to distract them. Mako tells Asami about this, and of course the gang figures out, they're trying to leave, huh?
And they attack, and they have a cool-ass water fight.
Dude. Speedboat chase scene. It was
very cool. Asami saves Mako with her speedboat driving skills.
And even Shady... Dude, wait, was that Shady Shin doing waterbending, though?
No, Viper was.
That was Viper, okay. Because I thought Shady Shin was doing it, too. I'm like, wait a minute, but he got his bending taken away.
No, Shady Shin... Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it was Viper.
Also, we don't even know what bending he is. We can assume waterbending.
Right, but no, it was Viper doing the waterbending.
Because,
we get some really good scenes. And all in all, long story short, Mako and Asami get out free while the others are, like, they're gone. Like, they lost.
Yeah.
So... Which begs the question, they're being distracted from what? Asami has a very bad suspicion about this, and they go back to her warehouse, and everything is taken.
All of the stuff's gone.
Of course, Mako's like, we got others. We can search the other warehouses, and Asami's like, dude, no. That was the last one.
Yep, that was all the stuff that they had.
And of course, Mako's like, I'm never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down. I'm never going to run around.
Mako comforts her, and she kisses Mako.
Yeah, she literally pulls a Korra and just up and kisses him.
Yep.
And it was cute, but of course, they're both like, just, sorry.
Mako's like,
it's fine.
No, yeah.
Well, he's just like, it's fine. It's just...
Yep.
cut to the next day, where
Yep.
Mako is threatening Two-Toe Ping and hit all of his toes.
Yep.
Like he has like the fire bending
dagger.
dagger.
Thing, yeah.
He's just like, I'm gonna cut your toes if you don't tell me. And Ping's just like, look, I ain't gonna lie because you're threatening the piggies here, but I don't know. Some moot came right after you guys came. I swear, this is all I know. You know how it is. And then Mako leaves to go to see Varrick.
Yep.
However, Bolin, I'm sorry, Nuktuk, is there and doesn't know where Varrick is.
Yep.
Which Bolin mentions that they're gonna have a pyrotechnics scene, which is move your talk for explosions. Getting ready for the explosions.
Or we just call them explosions sometimes, you know.
No, but in short, as Bolin is getting filmed with this, Mako's kind of behind the scenes, and he notices there's explosions without bending.
Yep.
He goes to a guy who's filling up like these cases with explosives, and learns about pyrotechnics and how it's remote controlled explosions.
Yep.
And they also note that the guy also notes that this pyrotechnic stuff is a Varrick exclusive.
Yeah, all Varrick tech.
Yeah, all Varrick tech. And all of a sudden he's like, oh no. Goes to Asami and is like, Asami, I think I might have figured out who it was. And Asami is like, oh, great. Glad to see you. And we see turned around is Varrick?
Yeah, and he says, Varrick just bought a controlling share of my company so he won't go bankrupt.
Yeah, a controlling interest bought by Varrick?
Yeah.
And of course, just so you know, first off, it's just Varrick. Secondly, he does like the James Bond evil, like one leg up, like
huge
turn,
grin,
like
huge grin on his face.
His first words even are, "Hello, Mako." I'm like, anyway. So Asami's like, so you figured out who it is, and all Mako says is yeah, and I'm really close. I'll fill you in later, and leaves.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on a remote island, or what we think is a remote, we see Korra washed ashore and waking up with Fire Nation sages.
Fire sages,
yeah,
yep.
Fire sages, just looking at her, and Korra freaks
Avatar,
out. She's like, wait, we're here to help you, Avatar. And Korra mentions, who's the Avatar?
Yep.
What is this?
Yeah, what are you guys talking about? Who am I?
And who are you? Who am I?
Yep.
And then, of course, the Fire Nation guys are just like,
confused. And
then it ends.
The end of the episode. Oof, my goof. What a great ending for that episode.
I don't like it.
Exactly what I wanted to talk to you about was, what do you think of Varrick's turn?
It's not.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Okay.
No, no. And I have some proof as to how I know it's not Varrick.
All right, what do you think's gonna? Like I said, we know, listeners, I haven't already seen the entire series, but he has not. So there's like many people watching it during the time. What do you think is happening?
I think that the Agni Kai, which are the people who I'm assuming are the firebenders at the beginning, who did that whole thing. I think they're very. I think they're very good at like impersonating someone, like especially with like makeup and stuff like that. Because first off, Varrick did not have Zhu Li. Secondly, Varrick knew a lot more than he let on. Varrick is not. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's innovative. He's not intelligent. Because he always has Zhu Li do things for him that he cannot do or does not know how to do. And in a previous episode, especially when he was in Ping Ping, Zhu Li goes. He is never without Zhu Li. Zhu Li is always with him, and yet he was alone. And at first, this theory was blown out because I thought his eyes were a different color too. Like Varrick has blue eyes. I don't think his eyes were blue. No, they were. But and for Varrick to go straight into buying a controlling interest, even Varrick wouldn't go that far because he's a businessman. He's not going to try to take control of Future Industries. He might put his name on Future Industries or something like that. He's gonna more help. They already have a deal. They already made a deal.
Yeah.
That wasn't the deal.
Okay, keep going.
It's not Varrick. It's not Varrick at all. At least, and to those of you who already, if for some reason, those of you who have watched these episodes, especially you, and if through some horrible miracle it happens to actually be Varrick, no, shut up, you're wrong.
All right.
Varrick is my favorite. Okay, but honestly, I don't think it's Varrick. Even though I want to believe it's not Varrick.
Of course.
It's kind of like the Northern Water Tribe bombing the center. Mm-hmm. It looks like it's Varrick, but I feel like there's more to it than that because that's totally out of Varrick's character.
Okay, sure.
Shut up, Nat. I don't like your tone.
Well, who knows?
But
we have
anyway.
a lot more episodes. We have 2 more episodes to cover.
Yes, we do. And let me be honest with you about this one. These 2 episodes, which just slight spoilers for you guys. This is a 2-parter. Yep. So you know. I think so far in all that I have seen in Legend of Korra, I think these 2 are actually the best episodes so far. And let's not waste any more time on this because I really want to start talking about these.
Okay.
Episodes 7 and 8, which is part 1 and 2 of Beginnings.
Yep.
The announcer in episode 7, at least, mentions that the Avatar went missing, and since the president would not help her, she went to she went to go and find a new ally in the Fire Lord, but was attacked by a dark spirit. Now she's in the Fire Nation and has no memory whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So we cut to, after the title card for part 1, we cut to Korra being carried to a different temple where like the head fire sage is.
Yep, the fire
and
sage
she does something interesting with firebending. See, firebending is more, in my opinion, is more like passion, is more like, you know, destructive force.
Yep.
This lady uses it in like some sort of healing kind of spiritual
way. Yeah, it's very
way.
peculiar. It's very like, what is she? Like, yeah, it's some kind of weird spirit bending with the old lady fire sage.
And
also,
right?
Yeah, it's very weird. Also, Korra's already started saying Rava over and over again.
Yes, she just says the name Rava over and over.
The word Rava, we don't know if it's a name.
She just starts saying Rava. The sage who's doing like the weird spirit healing thing with the fire is like, oh, she's got dark energy in her and we need to purge it. So they drop her in some healing kind of water chamber.
Magic healing water.
Yep. And so as Korra is submerged in this water, we go inside her head where she sees her. And she, you know...
I won't say her head. I was thinking she was going to the spirit world.
Well, we see all about her spirits and stuff, so we don't see other spirits. That's why I say we go inside her head, at least. Yeah. Because you see Korra looking at Korra, and of course Korra is like, who are you? And the other Korra is like, I'm you. But who am I? You see Aang.
Yeah, it turns into Aang.
Yeah, it turns into Aang. And it's like, you're the Avatar. Roku turns and says... tells her that she needs to reconnect with her past selves. And through Kyoshi, and who's the one before Kyoshi?
I can't remember his name, but I believe he is the dum-dum who got his girlfriend's face stolen by Ko.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's the waterbending one. I don't remember his name. But he was like a show-off and stuff.
Pretty much, long story short, she needs to reconnect with her past selves by going back to the beginning and finding Rava.
Yep.
And so we cut to...
I'm going to say it turns into a final person, and it is of somebody she doesn't know, a young man with, like, crazy spiky hair.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah. We cut to, a young man with very spiky hair. She asks if that's Rava, and he goes, no, but I can help you find her. My name is Juan.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you how I became the first Avatar.
Yep.
Boom! There. First Avatar. Before I watched this episode, I was curious as to maybe, now that Legend of Korra was over, maybe they'll do something with the first Avatar or anything like that. I see they didn't need it because they're covering it now.
Yep, voiced by Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead, Glenn.
There you go. There's your actor of the day. Mm-hmm. And we start off with this Juan character running away from Imperial dressed men known as the Chews.
Yep, I was saying this. He was like running away. He had a bag of stuff, and seemingly a thief from like feudal Japan looking.
One jump ahead of the hit.
Yeah, he's literally doing the whole thing. The Chew brothers, he stole from them. He is very agile.
Oh, incredibly. Very acrobatic, too.
Yeah, a lot of cool flips outrunning the Chew
brothers.
And
of course, the Chew brothers are like, you can't get away with it, me. And of course, Juan's like all being snarky and awesome. And he runs away, and he does the dumbest thing a thief could ever do. In mid-chase, he sits down and goes to start eating. Because guess what? The Chews are there! Yep. And they actually stop him and throw him in the mud.
Yeah, into animal pins with, just like I brought up a couple of episodes ago.
Pig cows.
Yeah, they're all pig crossbreeds, which means that stuff's before the Avatar, those weird-ass crossbreed animals.
Right, yeah.
Not long
like
ago.
Pig cows,
pig chickens.
Yeah, chicken pigs, potato tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a crazy weird thing.
And then, of course, after all of that, we see outside of the huge city, there's like a bit of a forest area where there's a little tree house where Juan goes, and there's two other people. There's Jaya, and there's... Who's the other one?
The old man? I did not get the name of.
Okay. I think I might have, but anyway. But an older man who is literally like a half tree, half human looking guy.
Yeah, it was a weird mutated tree man or something.
And of course, Jaya's like, dude, you stole from the Chos again?
Yep.
That's not cool, bro. We learn about the Emperor of the Emperor Chu and what he does to people. Because Jaya goes, you could be executed or worse.
Yep.
Banished to the Spirit Wilds. And the old man, who's like half tree or whatever, freaks out because he's like, they'll turn you into a monster like me.
Yeah, and then he goes back into the woods, and as we also see that Juan is very kind to animals as he gives his portion of this food to animals. And
very, very true. Yes, that is something we should have pointed out. Was he gives Juan gives Jaya and the tree man so their portions of the food, and a bunch of animals just came in, and Juan just gave all of his food to the animals.
We see,
and of course, after all of the stop stealing from the Chews and everything like that, Juan has a brilliant idea. Cut to another, I'm going to guess the next day.
Yeah, it's the next
where
day.
This big warrior kind of guy is like, are you brave? Do you want to help out your city? Then come join the hunt. Because we're going to go out to the Spirit Wilds for a week and hunt for food.
Yep.
Juan's like, I'm in. We get fire, right?
Yeah, get fire. What does that mean?
And the big guy's like, you wouldn't even last 2 seconds. And another guy's like, dude, he's literally the only one. Let's just bring him.
Yeah, why not?
So, and he's just like, okay, welcome to the hunt. So we see them all gathered in front of the gates. Well, actually, at a cliffside of the city of the city, and like Matt said earlier, what does it mean by getting fire? Well, the entire city rumbles and moves to reveal
a enormous lion turtle.
That's right.
With some beautiful painterly backdrops of the old Japanese-looking city.
Right, and
this whole style is very...
Yeah, I was that's what I wanted to comment before we continue on. This art style for this entire flashback is completely different than the actual animation style of Legend of Korra. Like, it's beautifully classic painted,
watercolors looking. It's great,
beautiful. But anyway,
we see the enormous lion turtle reaching out with a single giant talon and giving them the gift of fire.
Which, if you all watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, in the same manner that the lion turtle gave the energy bending to Aang.
Yep, back in the day. And he says that you have this power of fire until you return.
Yep, until you return. So, we go into the Spirit Wilds, where Juan's like...
immediately.
Literally, they just walked in, and he's just like, I can't do this, I'm scared. And the guy's like, get out of my sight and return your fire.
Yeah.
And Juan, the rational individual that he is, goes straight home. Because now he has fire.
Yep.
And now they can raid the Chews again. And of course, Jaya is afraid. It is like, dude, you shouldn't do this. Just go with the natural order of things.
Yep.
It'll be fine. And Juan's like, you can't cower forever, buddy.
Yep.
And so they raid the Chews again, and more successfully than before because they got like 10 people with them.
Yeah, it's a whole big gang
to steal food
with masks and stuff.
Yeah, with masks and everything. And Juan is holding everyone at bay with his firepower. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, after shenanigans break through, after people like start exiting, like escaping with the food, the Chews find out, well, it's Juan with firepower.
Yeah, one of them manages to get the mask off of him.
Yep, it by accident. And like we're talking like fire all around. Juan has the fire up, getting ready to strike the guy, and he doesn't. Thankfully, he does not.
Yeah.
And then of course we cut to him getting captured, and we cut to him with the Emperor in front of the lion turtle.
Oh, we also see that like the Chew that he didn't kill. It's just like, I knew he was he won. Yeah, I knew you couldn't do what it takes.
Big talk for a short fat guy.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I knew you wouldn't do it. You suck. And it's just like, oh man, it sucks for Juan.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
But then of course, we cut to that area,
yep,
and the Emperor's like, tell me who joined you, and I might spare you. And Juan's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah,
I don't care. No. And of course he's like, all right, you're banished. And that little fat guy was just like, give back your fire.
Yep. And the lion, he asks the lion turtle to allow him to keep the fire so he can survive in the spirit wilds.
And the lion turtle's like, you're not allowed to come back to the city.
Yep.
But you are allowed to keep the fire to protect yourself.
Yeah, that was
so
very cool.
He is now officially the first person to keep an element.
Oh yeah, that was very, very cool. He is attacked by while he enters the spirit wilds.
He enters the spirit wilds, and he accidentally steps on a frog. He turns into a big frog.
Yeah, gigantic.
And tries
frog.
to step on him.
Yeah, that was very cool.
And then he almost gets eaten by a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, the flytrap, the crazy bug. He tries to eat a plant, and it's a bunch of crazy little spirit bugs.
A bunch of bugs. He flops down in a field, and they like the tentacle thingies try to bring him down.
I was like he's attacked by a number of monsters that like he's in a D&D campaign or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Every corner, some weird things attacking him.
But there's a glimmer of hope.
Mm-hmm.
There's a small oasis.
Yep.
In the middle of the spirit wilds.
Yeah.
And Juan goes up to go to it, and this weird spirit, I don't even know what to think of him.
It's a Aya lemur.
An Aya lemur?
Yeah.
Okay, so this Aya lemur spirit is like, no! Like, he's got this shrill, high-pitched voice.
It's James Marsden, I'm gonna say. Not Marsden, Marsters, a voice actor. He's like Tito from Weekenders, and he's like Kovu in Lion King 2. He's a huge, huge voice actor.
Right, I was gonna say, Kovu I kind of know, but the other one, the Weekenders, have no idea about.
Oh, he's great.
But anyway, he's just like, nobody enters here, not humans, not ever. And of course, Juan's like, dude, let me in, and shoots fire at him. He's like, how dare you shoot me with fire? And literally, like, effortlessly picks up Juan and just tosses him into a bush.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Like, get
awesome.
out. Hey, get out. And so Juan's just like, eh. So
we see the parade of other spirits.
Yep, parade of other spirits, and Juan's like, I have an idea, because when Juan has an idea, it always turns out well.
Oh yeah.
So as this whole procession's going on, we actually see him kind of dress up as something and starts walking. I'm just gonna call him Aya. The spirit. I'm gonna call him Aya.
Yeah, does he have a name? I don't know if they ever refer to him as
he never gets called a name.
Yeah, okay.
So the lemur spirit of the Oasis, I'm just gonna call him Aya.
Okay.
Because he's an Aya.
Jason Marsden is the voice actor.
Jason Mars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Marsden, yeah, he's a ton of stuff. He's a
So Aya's just like, you. Who are you? And Juan as the spirit is like, I am Bushi the Bush spirit. And he's just like, okay, you can go in. Then sniffs a little bit and goes, wait. Takes off the hat and finds out it's Juan in a disguise and tosses him into the river, not the Oasis.
Yep,
and
it's really funny.
He's just like, "Go home, human," and Juan's like, "I got banished." Some of the other spirits are like, "Oh man, that stinks."
Yeah, it's also funny. They all have like little kid sounding voices, and also like all the designs look very like Miyazaki.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, what was the one with the girl going to the tower with the spirit, the weird dragon spirit?
Oh, you're talking about Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. Okay,
Yeah, Spirited Away, where she works at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
The spirit bathhouse. Yep. Yeah, like they definitely look very Miyazaki-esque. But anyway, they're
what you might know Jason Marsden as is Max Goof from Goofy movie.
Yeah. He was Max?
Yeah, he's like an enormous voice actor, dude.
Dude, I knew he sounded familiar. I just couldn't pinpoint who he was.
Yeah, he's been in stuff. He's great.
Yeah, but they're like, all the secrets are like, oh, that sucks. Actually,
yeah, they're very nice.
And Aya's just like, dude, don't be nice. He's a human. Humans are bad.
Yeah, it's really
He
good.
can just go to another city. And Juan's like, there's other cities?
He's like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, and Aya's just like, yeah, stupid. There are, being totally mean.
He says like dozens of them in like dozens of cities, yeah.
Yeah, he says there's like dozens of them, and Juan's like, where's the next one? And Aya does like some dumb thing, pretty much not telling him where one is.
Like, I think it's none of your business.
None of your business, Valley.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
then Juan's just like, I don't need you. I can just falls into the river deeper.
Yep.
And then as that's all happening,
he finds a trapped cat deer.
Yep, he finds a trapped cat deer.
I said cougar deer because it looks more like a cougar than a regular cat, but I wasn't sure what the hell it was.
It's a mountain cat, so
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Juan's like, I must eat and devour this. But the cat deer like shows the scene where like the animal's like big eyes, like no. And Juan's just like, fine. Fine. Goes to free the cat deer, and all of a sudden you hear a familiar voice.
Yep.
What ho! We found meal! And it's the hunter.
We found meal. That's what they say.
Yes. They say, what ho! We found meal. It's the hunter, the head hunter. And he's like, yes, we will take this and we will eat of it. And Juan's like, no, I'm saving this. I will hug him and I will stroke him and I will call him George. But the hunter is like, wait, first off, Juan? And at this, and after he's like confused because Juan is there, he's also like, that's my food, that's our food you're gonna give us. And Juan fends them off by using his knowledge from the past. He runs over this like tall grassy area where as the hunters are walking through it, boom,
the
tentacles bring him down. Then he picks up weird pinkish red fruit and tosses it at the guys, and they explode into bees,
crazy beetle bugs and stuff.
And one of the guys is like, get him off, and gets literally carried away by these things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course Juan like trips and falls and like gets hurt, and the head hunter is like, oh yeah, you're out of tricks now, and who should appear but Aya?
Yep.
And Aya possesses one of the other hunters.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate humans, and scares the head hunter away.
Yep, and also we see that when he possesses the guy starts like freaking out and mutating into a half human thing.
Aya leaves the body, but like Matt said, just like half lemur-esque thing, half human, and freaks out and runs.
Yep.
And of course, Aya lets Juan into the oasis and with the healing powers. And Juan's like, thanks, don't get me wrong, but why? And Aya's like, look, I was actually observing you. I saw you free the cat deer.
Yep.
No human has ever been... I've never seen a human be that kind before. And one of the spirits is like, you're going to go back to the lion cities now? And Juan's like, you know what? No. I'm tired of humans. I want to live among the spirits.
Yeah, that was a really cool call.
And so Aya's like, it's never happened before, but we can try it out. And thus he dons the name Stinky.
Yeah, I've never had a human pet before. I'll call you Stinky.
My name is Juan, but Stinky makes more sense. We cut to the head hunter walking into the city.
Yep.
It's like, everyone saw him because he's kind of charred up and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? He's like, it was Juan.
Yep, he was working with the spirits, and Lucky was one of them.
And we get a montage. As this guy is explaining what went down, we see a montage of Juan learning.
Also, we see his friends hearing about Juan living with the spirits, which is going to be important. Yeah.
Oh yes, that too. Knowing that Juan is alive, his friends are like, "Dude, he's alive."
Yep.
That is a good point.
Yep.
But then we see like a time lapse thing where the head hunter's explaining situations while we see Juan mastering firebending from one of the original masters.
He's being taught firebending by a dragon.
Yes, I was going to say, for those of you who have not seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original masters were dragons.
The dancing of the dragons.
Yep, the dragon dance and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And the hunter is explaining how the firebending that he does is he uses it as differently than anyone else. Yeah. It's more of an extension of his body rather than just a means of protection and stuff like that. And of course, after this time lapse and all that stuff, he goes up and everything like that, starts packing up things. But before we get to that, actually, because I missed my notes.
But we see his friends.
Yeah, Jaya and all of his friends are like, "Hey,
gathering other humans to leave."
Yeah, we need to do our own thing because now that Juan was able to do this, we need to get fire and do our own thing. And you see them getting the power of fire and leaving the lion turtle.
Giving them all of it. Yeah, it's really cool.
And then we see Juan packing up on. Now we have a name for the cat here, Mala.
Is it Mula?
Yeah, Mala.
I think it's like Mula.
I think it's Mala.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it says Mula.
Anyway.
That's why I looked up. I was like, wait, is he saying Mula like money? It's what the hell is he saying?
Anyway, but, and of course, Aya's like, "You're leaving already?" He's like, "Yeah, I need to find these other cities." It's like, "I am proud to be your friend, Stinky."
Yeah, it's a very cute scene.
It is. It's very nice. It was endearing.
As he travels.
And yeah, you get a nice montage of him, like, different sceneries, him traveling with his first animal companion.
Yep, Mula.
And the cat deer. And then, as they're in a valley, the spirits start running away. And it's like, the almighty spirits are fighting now. They're going to destroy everything. And he goes and sees what's going on. And you see two spirits. I describe them as looking like flatworms.
Yeah, they do look like weird flat
worms. Yeah. You've seen flatworms before. Okay, yeah, these like two giant spirits that kind of look like flatworms. One of them is like white and blue, and the other one is like black and red.
Yep.
And they're fighting
each other. Yep.
And of course, Juan is like trying to like stop this. You're gonna destroy everything. One of them is like the white one's like, "Dude, don't get involved. You don't know what's going on." And the black one's like, "Help. I'm being tormented."
Yeah, she said be trapped here for 10,000 years.
And immediately after hearing that, Juan uses the fire to try and stop this from happening.
Yeah.
There's a tiny little intertwining with like one tentacle to one tentacle. Yeah. One hits that and completely frees both of them of each other. And of course the black one's like, "You did a good service to the spirits. Bye-bye."
Did he say his name here, or does it
no.
In a second they say
because the white spirit reams Juan because Juan did a bad. Yep. And she's like, "You don't even know who I am, do you?" And Juan's like, "Wait, should I know?"
Yeah.
And this is where we learn their names.
Yep.
The white spirit is Rava. And the black spirit is Vatu.
And she's been holding him in balance with spirit for the last 10,000 years.
Yep. And now, because of what Juan did, Juan pretty much let darkness into the world.
Yep, he freed evil into the world, and it will now spread.
Yep. And then we cut to Korra.
Yep.
And she's like, all she says is, "Rava, I found you." End of part 1.
Yep.
Now, I'm watching the Blu-rays of this.
Yep.
Well, first off, this is part 1. Wow.
Yeah.
So much.
I was gonna say, dude, I like I've said way back in the day, I saw this at Comic-Con when it aired about a week before the actual airing on TV.
Right.
However, at this time when I saw this episode, I believe I might have been 2 or 3 episodes behind in the show. I mean, I haven't seen the 2 previous ones we just did, so I didn't know why Korra had amnesia. I didn't know why she was on this island. But I saw this episode at a con. They brought out Stephen Yeun, the voice actor for Juan, and I knew him from Walking Dead. I was surprised. I didn't know what he was there for. They had all the people there, like Janet Varney, who voices Korra, was there, and Seychelle Gabrielle was there for who voiced Asami. And, like, the whole panel of the creators were there. And this was a really cool thing, really big screen. They brought down the screen. They showed the episode. It was freaky. And everyone's like, "Whoa, what the hell's going on? Whoa, what the hell? This is insane." It was really, really cool. And then later I found out that they showed the second part to people who for a cosplay thing, for people who cosplayed as Avatar characters. Exclusively. So I didn't get a chance to see that one, but I still saw this first half, and I was so confused, and I was like, what the freak? I'm freaking out. And everyone's like, what's going on? It was an amazing experience. I love it so much. I was so happy.
Just finally learning the origins of the Avatar.
Yeah, where the bending comes from.
Yeah, which, I mean, when I saw the lion turtle, it was like one of those moments where it just clicked. I'm like, of course it was lion turtles.
Yeah, they give energy things, so who knows?
Well, yeah, but for them to be like literally the basis of bending makes a lot of sense.
Or the origin for the ability of bending. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. But, oh my goodness, and then so much, and then Juan.
Yeah,
just Juan.
Juan's great, and it's really, really cool.
Oh my goodness, is he ever? But let's not stop here.
Oh yeah, we gotta finish this up, so we have a lot more discussion about.
Yeah, we got part 2 to cover. Which now, when I mentioned, I'm watching the Blu-rays.
Yeah.
According to the Blu-rays, it just goes straight into part 2. Yeah, there is no other announcer guy or whatever.
I'm gonna say there's the last time when I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, because last night when I was finishing up notes, I didn't have my CD in there, and I have a mess right here.
Yeah.
So I watched it online, and online they had it last time.
Yep.
But on the Blu-ray there is no last time.
Yeah, I was because the last time there was a 2-part. Like you had the last time and I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It's weird.
That's very bizarre.
So in my notes there was no do you have the last time for the?
Oh yeah, last
2?
time. Yeah, it's all focused on Juan and talking about how his origin as the person. Obviously, it's they tell him he was the first Avatar, and they say like, oh, he freed the spirit of Rava from Vatu and Rava. And then also, like, he learned bending from the Fire Lion Turtle. It was, like, really quick and just, like, a synopsis of this episode. But, yeah, it was very, very cool. You see that again.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, in my notes, unlike what he said, what the announcer said, in my notes, however, my next thing, literally, quote, immediate cut to part 2.
Yep, Fire Sages.
Yep, the Fire Sages are looking at this, and one of them's like, should we let her out? And the main Fire Sage is like, no. She needs to do this, or else she's gonna pretty much die, and the whole world is going to die. Yeah,
the hope that she survives this ordeal. And I was like, oh, she could die from this? What the hell?
And then, of course, we get a slight little recap.
Yep.
Of Rava telling Juan, it's all your fault, blur, blur, blur. And then we get back to the actual scene, and he's like, okay, let me help you. I didn't realize this was bad.
Yeah.
I want to fix my mistake.
Yep, she's like,
and Rava's like,
you.
I hate you. Screw you, human. Flies away.
Yep, F you.
And so Juan's like, all right, Mula. And then they ride away, and they see monks who have the power of wind.
Yeah, these wind-powered monks floating around, picking off fruit from the tree. It was very cool.
And Juan's like, people! and the monks are just like, swim away! I mean, fly away!
I'm about to say, they're really cool. They're like actually floating on like clouds and stuff.
Yeah, like we're talking like Goku on flying Nimbus kind of
thing
standing
going on. It was really cool.
Like their feet literally turn into like clouds and they like fly.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
And of course, Juan's chasing him like, no, I'm a good guy. Wait, I'm just excitable. And all of a sudden, he stops and almost falls off a cliff. Yep. Like literally, like is hanging off the cliff. And he sees one other monk just fly into a city. And then he finds out that it's true. There are other lion turtles. And this one happens to be flying.
Yeah, it's actually just floating in midair and it's really, really cool looking.
Yeah, and of course, whereas there was a cliffside where the lion turtle of fire did the fire thing, this one, on one claw fin, is where they stand, and the other one is what he uses to give the power. Which I thought was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
And of course, Juan's like, I gotta get in there!
Yeah.
And then he literally, like, he and Mula just make this makeshift kind of slingshot.
Yeah, trebuchet or whatever.
Like, wish me luck, burns the vine, and he makes it.
Yeah, flings himself all the way over and lands on a vine hanging off of the
one vine
turtle.
hanging off, and he's just like, he made it.
Yeah, he did it. That was hilarious.
He gets into the city and finds out that the humans and the spirits are actually getting along with each other.
Yeah, they live together in this city in peace. Yeah, it's very, very cool.
You know, he sees a few monks meditating, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry for interrupting you guys, but I haven't seen people in a long time, and I've been in the spirit wilds for the past 2 years. And the monks are like, really? Come, tell us about your adventures.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Immediately, as some of the spirits are, some of the cute little spirits are turning into wicked, evil spirits.
Yeah, they start turning crazy, see-through purple like the ones in corresponding.
And just see-through-y, because some of them are green, some of them are purplish.
Right. And they start ripping up the buildings and
all of a sudden, we
people.
see Vaatu. And everyone's like, why is Vaatu separated? And Juan's like, I'll tell you in a moment.
Yep.
And so he starts trying to save everyone.
We see that they all know that Vaatu is bad. They're like, why is the bad spirit free right now? And he's like, oh, they know. Oh, boy.
He's just like, I'll tell you later. For now, he's like, Vaatu, don't do this. They've done nothing to you. And he starts using fire, which makes all the spirits attack. And here's a very important factoid. A smaller Rava goes and literally punches Vaatu away, but Vatu's like, yeah, how's it feel now that we're separated and you're getting weaker?
Yep.
Beware, though, because the harmonic convergence is near, and flies away. And Rava's like, human, I told you to stay the frig away.
Yep.
And the monks are like, Rava, I'm glad to see you, but why are you separated? And Rava goes, well, Juan, why am I separated? And Juan's like, look, Vaatu literally played my emotions. He pretty much convinced me to free him. I didn't know, and I want to right this wrong. And they asked the big question, how?
Yep.
So, Juan goes to the lion turtle.
I was going to say, we find out why she's slightly smaller. She says that as darkness grows, light fades.
Yep. So, because of the separation...
smaller in size.
Yeah. So, as they separate, Vaatu is becoming more powerful and getting bigger, while Rava is getting weaker and turning smaller.
Yep.
And then, of course, they go to the lion turtle. And Juan's like, look, I need your help. I need the power of wind. And the lion turtle's like, you do know you already have fire, and no human can hold all of the more than one element, right?
Yep. Cool.
Well, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have Rava help you. And Rava's like,
yeah, I'm not gonna.
Did you just tell me I need to help this guy? And Juan's like, look, I get it. I'm human. I made a human mistake. And so look, I'll make you a deal. You help me, I help you. You hold all these other elements, and I'll help you give balance to the world. And Rava's like, you know what?
Yep.
You have a good point.
She says she'll hold them until he masters them.
Correct.
That's the deal. She reluctantly agrees if he helps to bring harmony.
Correct. And yeah, that's what he states. He's like, and in return, I'm going to do this.
Yep. And we learn what harmonic convergence is.
Yes, harmonic convergence. Long story short, it's the battle of good and evil. The ultimate battle of good and evil.
It is when they battle for the fate of the world.
And that also happens, we learn. It also happens every 10,000 years.
Yep. And the next one is exactly 1 year from now.
Yep. 1 year from now. And that's all. And then, of course, Juan is like, hey, I'm ready. Like, he's doing some more fire training. He's like, all right, I got this one down. Give me that wind. And Rava's like, in order to do this, I literally have to pass through you, right? And he goes, oh, you've done this. And Rava's like, no, this has never been this never happened before. So, she goes right through him, and he has the power of wind now.
Yep. He managed to do some, but also remember, it's really cool. He specifically uses the airbending exactly like he does his firebending.
Yes.
He does punches and shoots it like a beam, or like, it's really, really cool. He also says it feels really weird, and he feels a spike of power when Rava flies through him. Yep. And then very, very cool.
Yep. And as they're talking about like why the spirits and humans are separated, Rava explains, that they're from two different worlds, literally. And, even though that sometimes they can get along.
I was thinking about that's like a little bit, yeah, talks about how like the air feels physically different from the fire. we find out that they fight to a stalemate every time, and that's how. But if one wins, the other winner will grow for the 10,000 years that no one is there.
Oh right, you're right because the whole end game of harmonic convergence is when one wins, the other is gone.
Yeah,
and so she's like, yeah. So if I win, Vaatu does not exist anymore. But if Vaatu wins, I'm not here anymore. And Juan's like, that's not so bad.
Yeah, you'll just come back eventually. He says,
because when one is gone, it's not forever. Because slowly, Rava will return back. And it will return back, and then this whole thing will start all over again.
Yep, and he says, that's not so bad. You'll be back if you lose. Like, well, it's not good because it'll be 10,000 years of just darkness.
And you'll never see it. Man, it's like Dark Souls in here. Like the flame... And everything's all right.
Yeah, but except for this has established rules that make sense.
Yeah, like I know. But still, anyway. And so,
we see him beginning to visit. We see the water turtle in the middle of a big giant swamp.
The water turtle who gives him water bending.
Yep.
And then the earth turtle who's in the desert.
It's really cool vistas. Both of them are really cool areas. It's really cool.
Which, by the way, kids, he started off as a firebender. Then got wind.
Yep.
Then got water. Then got earth.
Yep.
To those of you who are not as familiar with Avatar lore than a lot of people, that is the cycle of avatars.
Yep, that is the cycle.
Which I thought that little detail
that was really cool.
With the help of Ed, because I never realized until Ed pointed it out to me that. That's how it went. I was like, oh my, he got them in the order.
Yeah, he got. Well, he made the order by doing that.
I know. I'm just saying that's how it happened.
Yeah, really pretty settings like the desert and everything. And this is when we find out that spirits and humans are from two different worlds, accessed through portals on the North and South Poles.
Yep.
We see that they are they clogged right now, or they pass through and that's the only way they can get back.
They're open, so spirits can pass through freely.
Okay, yeah.
That's why some of them are in the human world.
Yep, Robin says humans are selfish, and that's why they do not get along.
Right, and then after that part gets said, we get like to present day, and Juan's like, I smell smoke.
Yep.
And they go and they see like a part of the forest just burnt down completely, and who should be there but Jaya and his crew.
Yep, we see that they're trying to get rid of spirits.
Yep, and I mean, there's a nice heart-filled, like, Jaya, what's going on, man?
Yep.
It's like, Juan, excellent. Why did you protect that spirit? And Juan's like, don't worry, it's not a dark spirit. And Jaya's like, what do you mean?
What's the difference?
We just attack spirits.
We should fire at any spirits that cross our path. Who cares if they're good or bad?
And then, of course, speaking of which, cue spirits, where we see.
Also, when they say that, it angers Rava when they say that, too.
Like, yeah, dude, Rava's like, how dare you say such things? You have no idea. And someone's like, the spirits are back! And you see this giant group of spirits led by Aya.
Yep.
And Aya is like, you humans and your fire and you're burning down things. Mm-hmm. And Jaya's like, you spirits and you're attacking all humankind. And Juan's like, guys, stop. And Aya's like, Juan, hey, help us destroy these guys. Stinky, hey, help us attack the humans. And he's like, no, we're not gonna fight here. We're not gonna fight. We can do this through peaceful means. And Aya's like, you have a good heart, Stinky. These guys don't.
Yep.
And then thunder crashes, darkness rises, and you hear the evil laughter of Vaatu. And every single spirit in that attack turns evil.
Yep.
Seeing Aya turn into that,
a weird, crazy,
it was awesome, monster. But it was scary at the same time.
It was a weird badger monster. It's really cool. Juan and Rava want to bring peace between the fighting humans and spirits. It's really difficult. But then, she joins him and controls him with all four elements into the Avatar state for the first time.
Yeah, well...
He tries to.
Technically, yes, but technically not.
Doesn't see all four?
They do absorb, and he's able to use all four of the elements, but not necessarily in Avatar state form. We'll get to that later.
Right.
But he does use all four of the elements, and even Jaya's like, holy crap, he's using all four elements.
Yeah, but
what's going on?
He cannot sustain it. And
because Rava mentions... if it prolongs in this form, he will die.
Yep.
He will die. And while he's in this fused state with Rava, Aya starts turning normal again.
Yep.
He's like, what's going on? But Rava has to leave so that Juan lives, and carries Juan off as the battle ensues.
Yeah, they could just start fighting all over again, and we see that Rava is now very, very tiny.
Oh, very tiny, yes. And, they start heading to the North Pole or South Pole?
South
Pole, okay.
The southern portal, and Rava is so tiny that he's holding her in a tea kettle right now.
A tea kettle?
A tea kettle.
A tea kettle.
Yep.
And Rava's kind of like, I was wrong about you. I just feel bad that we don't have more time together. And Juan's like, dude, come on. We've been with each other for so long. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yep, we finally see them going through the spirit world.
The spirit world, yeah, the spirit portal.
Yep.
Which leads them to the world between human world and spirit world.
Yep.
Which I like this because
very, very cool looking.
Yeah, because when it gives you like a whole view, like a bird's eye view of it, and it looks like a yin yang.
Yep, and the portals are the dots at the top and the bottom of it.
It's very, and like cool. the white, like there's the white portal, that's the good side, and then there's like the reddish portal, which is like the bad side.
Reddish.
And of course, Vatu's like, oh yes, it's time to fight.
Yeah, it's an enormously massive Vatu just looming over the entire area.
Yeah, he's like, I'ma kill you.
Yep.
And Juan's like, hey, don't you know the legends? I'm not a normal human. And they have probably the coolest fight scene ever.
I would say we also have a really cool line from Vatu about he's lived 10,000 lifetimes before humans crawled from the mud.
From the mud?
He's just like, oh, fuck, this dude's
I'm like, dude, come on.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and of course...
dope-ass fight.
Yeah, oh, man. Like, Juan is, like, fire bending all of this and stuff, and Vatu is, like, literally shooting, like, giant, massive black, like,
giant
evil beams.
Evil
beams. He's just like...
And he says that he's the one who brought the spirits to the real world.
Yeah, there's an important fact right
there. But also, yeah, his giant Kamehameha Gallic gun beams are blasting all over. It's really, really cool.
And of course, things aren't looking well, but he's like, Rava, help me!
Yep.
And they fuse together, and it starts getting better and better.
That's really cool.
And then Rava's like, you're gonna die if we do this any longer. He's like, I don't care! We need to do this!
Yep, they kick a lot of butt, they're controlling all the elements, but the fusion is visibly wearing down.
Yep, wearing down. And then Vatu has a hold of Juan, and he's like, yes! The convergence begins. The planets line up perfectly.
Yep.
And
also, we see that this is a weird solar system that doesn't look like ours.
Right. And we also see, like, the two portal beams that were sticking straight up merge together, and the red one seems to be winning.
Yep.
Juan touches the portal, and kind of like in Last Airbender with Fire Lord and Aang, where it's like red almost, but then blue wins. Pretty much the same thing, only with this portal thing. And Rava states, "We are now bonded forever."
Yep.
This is where we get
the
full-on Avatar state.
The true Avatar state.
And so we're talking like he's literally like he puts Vatu in a bubble.
Yep, seals him in a sphere.
Seals him with all four of the elements. Pushes him into a tree and seals.
Yeah, a giant tree in the center of the yin yangs. It's really, really cool.
And he's just like, he's like, good. Now I'm going to seal these two portals so that no one can come here and no one has a chance of freeing you.
Oh, it's so cool.
Which means all the spirits have to go back to their world.
Yep.
And so he seals the northern portal. Then he goes out and spirits are like walking to the portal.
Yeah,
and this is when he mentions is when he mentions, spirits and humans cannot live together anymore because of this. I will try to make humans respect the spirits, and I'll be the bridge between them.
Yep, we also see that the lion turtle say that their time is over.
Yep, this is a new era of existence. So we're not going to give you guys any more abilities of elements.
Yep,
we're gone. We're noping right out of here.
Oh yeah, it's really, really sad and cool. It's a really beautiful scene.
And then Juan is like, from now on, I will do my best to bring peace to the entire world. Cut to an old Juan in a battlefield.
Well, so we see a montage of like humans fighting.
Right, and then you see him like.
Yeah, and then we see.
Yeah, that's when he like says that I'll bring peace.
I'll bring peace, and then some huge montage of him.
And then
so sad.
Yeah, and then of course we cut to an old Juan on a battlefield saying how he failed because he couldn't bring peace. Even with the Avatar, being the Avatar and all that stuff. And Rava assures him that this ain't over yet. And she's not going to give up on him because throughout all of his lifetimes, she will be with him. And that no matter what happens, they are going to bring peace. And this right here nearly broke me because you see like this gold power, like mist power, like leave out of
like last breath. He just like literally passes away, and
then
like,
it fades to white, and all you hear is a baby cry. I'm like,
yeah, that was a really really sad scene. It was insanely, it was so good.
And then of course, Korra at this point wakes up with
finally.
the Avatar state, and she like gets up and she's like, oh. And of course, the fire stage is like, who are you? She's like, I'm Korra, and I'm the Avatar.
Yeah.
The fire sage brings Korra to a herd of air bison.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. And
not
you know
buffalo.
I know.
Bison.
And you know what she says? They've been breeding them since before the first war. It's insane.
Yes. I was excited to see them again.
I'm about to say, like, the fire sages, I don't know, like, go and hit you before the episode's over, but, like, they said in, I think it was either a comic or even when Zuko went to them during his, like, search for his grandfather, like, their job is to protect and, like, research and study the Avatar. After the 100 Years' War, they were, like, pretty much obsolete in the Fire Nation Kingdom, like, when they were all evil and anti-Avatar.
So,
Avatar.
I was gonna say, I read that comic.
Yeah.
And seeing this and hearing that lady say that,
I was like, yes!
And then, of course, Korra's like, how long was I out? And the sage is like, I don't know. But you're running out of time. Yep. You literally have weeks before harmonic convergence. Away. And Korra is like, all right, I'm going to seal the southern portal again. Mm-hmm. And then gets on an air bison.
Yep.
And flies away. And thus ends this magnificent two-parter.
I know. It is a really, really dope scene. It's really, really cool. And I absolutely love the aesthetic and saying how the Benders first got their stuff and everything. Now, I remember way back when this first came out, I also found an article about it, a really funny thing. Like, this was a very controversial episode because people thought it contradicted what people stated was the source of stuff in the first series of Avatar. And, like, a lot of people were speaking up about it, including one Serena Williams, tennis star, along with, like, it was a huge thing on the internet before, but, like, recently she was like, hey, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How did they get, like, they say that the moon and dragons and badger moles taught humans how to bend, but it was given to them from the turtles, and like people explain, like what happened was the turtles gave them the ability to use the elements. Those animals and the moon and the waters and everything show them how to actually bend and do things besides just shoot it.
Yeah, it's not the fact that it gave them the ability. Yeah. It gave them the ability to just use it.
It taught them like martial arts pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much how to make it an extension of the body.
Yep, how to make the Badger Moles told them how to like move the dirt around when the moon taught them how to push and pull the waves of the water, and it was just like it's
and the dragons taught them about the ferocity of fire.
The cool fire dance that they do, it's all amazing. But I absolutely, it's so cool, and I love this episode. The style is amazing. Goodness.
It was so good. Magnificent.
It's really, really good.
Oh, man. So many good things. They don't even need a series about the first Avatar now because they were able to do it. We know what
we had a really sad, cool ending for him, too.
Oh, man. It was so tragic.
But also, like, I'm thinking, like, you read the comic with the Kurakage?
Yeah, the Kurakage?
Yeah. When they talked about the first Fire Lord. That guy who was like a weird like Mongolian thing and like took all those women and killed the kids and all that stuff. Like the aesthetic of that time period, I'm like, that looks like it's really similar to the time when people were in villages outside. It was almost exactly like when Wan died's like time period. Mm-hmm. It would have had to been a little bit after that, but like, or maybe it could have been during it. Who knows? He could have built the first Avatar. I don't know.
I was gonna say, who knows? Maybe Wan was trying to beat him and failed.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's so cool. It's really fantastic finding all that history of the world.
But now, here's my question. Mm-hmm. Because Korra, they're making a big deal about Korra doing harmonic convergence. Yeah. Which means in Korra's time, it's been 10,000 years.
It's been 10,000 years since that first Avatar.
Oh, since
Wan died. 10,000 years. Well, actually, 10,000 years since he sealed Rava in that tree.
Right.
So that means like maybe like another probably like 80 or 90 years when he died.
So all of those other avatars,
all the statues and all the line,
those have not, none of them have exceeded 10,000 years. Well, 100,000
years. In age,
no. I'm talking about like her whole line of avatars.
Oh, it has not been 10,000 years.
Yeah, okay.
Presumably, we don't know. Presumably, we don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really cool. But now you know the actual plot of I will say. given that information, now what do you think is going on?
Unalaq is Vaatu. Well, not, I know not actually Vaatu, but he wants to free Vaatu because he wants harmonic convergence to happen, and of course he either he's being manipulated or he, for some bizarre reason, wants Vaatu to be Vaatu to rule over for 10,000 years. But his plans definitely have something to do with harmonic convergence.
Yeah.
Why else would he want the spirit portals to open? And remember, Vaatu was the one who let spirits and humans live together. What's Unalaq trying to do?
Yep, make spirits and humans live together.
Exactly.
Yep, bum bum bum.
Oh my goodness.
Who knows?
Gracious.
We'll find out. In the next 4 episodes, we'll find out a good...
No.
Oh, wait, no, we're doing...
3. We're doing 3 and then 3 because there's 6 episodes left.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be short.
And I'm not... And look, 5 episodes is my limit. Doing 6 in a row, we're going to have like a 3-hour episode.
Well, yeah, it's going to be good. All right. Well, it's going to be time for this week.
Obviously, I mean, I just moved into my new locale, so I'm still working on a few things, but pretty shortly I should be working on the Action Toon Bros Facebook page. But clearly you have a lot of other plugs as well.
Yeah, I got my Patreon, Matthew Lewis Podcasts, Twitter, Matthew Lewis P, YouTube, Matthew Lewis Podcasts, Forgotten Minotaur King podcast. It's probably on hiatus at this point. I don't know how many episodes I've planned. But don't you have another possible perspective podcast potentially coming up in the future?
Oh, right. Sorry.
It might be out by this point because this is going to be weeks in the future.
True. But in case it's not done yet, but I am working on at least starting a secret project, a podcast, obviously. But I'm still hashing out details, so I'm not going to give too much. But when that comes out, should that come out in the near future, I'll have a lot more plugs than just relying on you guys listening to this guy over here.
Yay.
But until then, I've got other things working on. Life is hard. Life is life. So aside from all of that, anything else you want to add? Any comments?
I got all my stuff.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for listening again.
Yep, keep it sleazy.
And we'll see you in the next episode.